Hello friends! Today we will analyze the plot of the 2019 crime comedy Ignition. Taek-il just bought a used moped from an ad on the internet. The guy wanted to brag about a cool purchase in front of his friend Taek-il, but the wretched technique stubbornly refuses to start. While friends are trying to start a collapse from a pusher, two hooligans demolish a mirror for them as a joke. Taek-il finally manages to start the moped and they rush in pursuit of the scoundrels. The cops notice two reckless youths on a moped without helmets and start chasing. In the end, the brakes fail at the piece of iron. Friends crash into the fence and fly into the ditch. The poor fellows are taken to the police station, where Taek-il's mother soon arrives. Having learned that her son spent money on a moped with which he had to pay for training, the woman whips the negligent Taek-il in the face. The offended son declares that he dropped out of school because they still do not have money to pay for the university. Taek-il runs away from home in spite of his mother and buys a bus ticket to a randomly selected city of Gunsan. A mom who works hard to educate her son calls the guy, but he doesn't pick up. When he reaches his destination, Taek-il notices a strange girl, Seo Kyung-jun, dyed bright red, and starts joking with her. Unexpectedly, a boxing girl hits the insolent man in the stomach and disappears until he comes to his senses. Hungry, Taek-il goes to a Chinese restaurant to eat a bowl of noodles. The owner of the establishment, Korg, is also in the hall. Soon the food delivery courier Gu-man appears on the doorstep and immediately goes to the kitchen. Taek-il is curious about the eerie noise coming from the kitchen, but he doesn't dare to ask about it. The boy has practically no money left, so he has to spend the night in the cheapest hostel. Taek-il comes home to her grandmother, who sees very poorly and hardly recognizes the boy, because in order to save money, she constantly cleans chestnuts for sale without turning on the light. The next day, Taek-il returns to the Chinese restaurant and asks for a job as a courier delivering ready-made meals. Kong warns that the boys will have to work at least 3 months before he can take the day off to go home. At the same time, he will be able to spend the night in the house at the institution. After Taek-il agrees, the owner introduces him to another humane courier who absent-mindedly spills change on the floor. When Taek-il looks at the cool smartphones in the store window, his old friend Kim Dong-hwa appears and offers a job. The boy goes to an interview with the director, but Dong-hwa does not want to explain what kind of work he will have to do. Taek-il explores the restaurant and peeks into the kitchen where he runs into the massive chef Jae-suk. The kid of the gathering is cheeky to the elder and gets punched in the face for it. Taek-il, unconscious, is brought into the house at the restaurant. Waking up early in the morning, he almost loses his power of speech when he sees Jae-suk sleeping with his eyes open next to him. After picking up the first delivery orders, Taek-il teases Jae-suk and runs away knowing that the big guy won't chase after him. Taek-il realizes on his first day of work that he will have to work with a collector along with Dong-hwa collecting money from debtors for their boss. After the first day at work, Taek-il and his colleagues watch TV together and chat. Taek-il again tries to play a joke on Jae-suk, then the chef declares that the kid is still a jerk who knows nothing about life. Offended, Taek-il offers to fight, but Jae-suk easily knocks him out with one blow. Taek-il, scattering business cards offering collection agency services, notices Taek-il's mother and realizes that the woman has problems. Taek-il delivers another portion and is surprised to see that it is intended for Kenjun from the bus station. The guy swoops down on the offender, wanting to take revenge on the last time, but accidentally touches the girl on the chest, which infuriates her and again turns out to be severely beaten. When the beaten Taek-il returns to the restaurant late at night, Jae-suk mocks him. While Taek-il cleans up in the bathroom, Taek-il calls, and Jae-suk picks up the phone. Taek-il runs out of the bath, snatches the phone from the hands of the cook and, without talking, turns off the caller, not realizing what the friend wanted to tell about his mom. At dinner, Taek-il accidentally blurts out that he was beaten by a girl, which causes unbridled laughter of his colleagues. When Kim-jun returns to the room that she shares with two friends, she sees that they have two impudent guys visiting. The girl wants to send them out to rest in peace, but the guys are not going to go anywhere. Then Kim-jun boldly rushes into the fray. Two guys overpower the girl and are going to beat her, so she has to run away. Taek-il and his co-workers go up to the roof for a smoke and notice Ki-jun running. Taek-il hurries outside to finally deal with the sassy girl. Suddenly he realizes that Kim-jun is running away from two scumbags who are trying to stuff the girl into his car. Taek-il boldly rushes to help, and although he quickly gets hit on the head, he wakes up all the neighbors. The scumbags decide to leave because there are too many witnesses around. The guys help Kim-jun treat her wounds and abrasions, and she leaves after thanking the rescuers. Taek-il notices that the girl has no shoes and, feeling sorry for the poor thing, he gives away his sneakers. Taek-il works hard as a courier while Sang-pil continues to work at the collection bureau. A few days later, Taek-il delivers the order to Kim-jun, and the girl returns the sneakers to him with gratitude. The courier leaves without even taking the delivery fee from Kim-jun. In the evening, Taek-il receives his first salary and treats his colleagues to beer. Kong advises the boy to call his mother, who has taken care of the boy for so many years and worry about him a lot. And Jae-suk explains how important respect for parents is. Taek-il snarls and once again gets hit in the face by the chef. Sang-pil and Donghwa have to chase through the streets of the city for another debtor who has stopped answering their phone calls. Collectors catch up with the debtor and Sang-pil explains to him that the debts need to be repaid in a good way, without forcing the guys to chase him. Taek-il decides to visit her mother, but when the boyfriend arrives, she is at work. Then Taek-il meets with Sang-pil, who explains that he makes good money as a collector and offers a friend a place in his office. Taek-il refuses to consider this work too dangerous and inhumane. After talking with a friend, the guy goes to his mother, who recently borrowed money and profitably acquired a small diner, and now she cooks and sells in it. A woman encourages her son to go back to school, confident that the diners will help them save money for university. Taek-il refuses to explain that he is satisfied with the job as a courier in Gunsan, and gives his mother an envelope with a salary and leaves. Soon a stranger comes to the diner and claims that the woman bought a temporary building that could be demolished at any moment. Donghwa tells the Sun-pil that it's time for him to start working on his own and sends the rookie to the debtor's diner. The guy goes inside and demands that the heavily drunk owner repay the debt. However, the man instead beats the collector severely and throws him out. Sang-pil is admitted to the hospital with a head injury. As Taek-il delivers more orders, he gets cut off a few times by the heavily tinted minivan of the scumbags who beat Kim-jun, until he ends up pulling over to the side of the road. Kim-jun gets a job as a waitress in a Chinese restaurant. Konga. Having learned that the girl has nowhere to go, the owner offers her to spend the night in the same house where the rest of the workers live in a separate room that used to belong to his daughter. When Taek-il starts asking Kong about his daughter, the men react very painfully and go to his room. The workers decide to celebrate Kim-jun's first day at karaoke. At the exit, Taek-il again notices the scumbags and is furious. However, the flimsy kid is beaten as usual. Then Jack-juk comes to his aid by throwing a pack of chips in the scumbag's face. After which the guys run away together. After being discharged from the hospital, Sang-pil decides to take revenge on the attacker who, having gone through alcohol, barely goes. The boy beats the debtor and brings a knife over his head, but in time he changes his mind and stops. A little later, the scumbags fly into the restaurant and begin to beat the Kong and its employees. Jae-juice from the kitchen appears at the noise and effortlessly throws the bandits around. Soon the police arrive and take everyone away. The scumbags are arrested and the restaurant workers are sent home. Turns out Jae-suk was a tough gangster in the past. One day, tired of the lawlessness around him, he decided to get drunk alone in a Chinese restaurant. Jae-suk saw the Kong trying to commit suicide inside and managed to pull the man out of the noose. Kong then shared that he could not survive the loss of his daughter. As a result, Kong and Jae-suk decided to start a new life. And the gangster, forgetting about the underworld, began working as a chef in his restaurant. San-pil declares to his superiors that he cannot collect money from debtors because he is very sorry for the poor fellows. Donghua advises a beginner not to whine and just do his own thing if he wants to start earning normally. When Taek-il comes to work in the morning, he is surprised to see several cool cars accompanied by serious guys. At this moment in the restaurant, Tae-sun, who took the place of the leader in the criminal group after the sudden disappearance of Jae-suk, explains to the chef that yesterday fighters from one of the most frostbitten gangs in the city who are now waging a fierce war with another group broke into the restaurant. Tae-sung asks Jae-suk to return to put an end to the mayhem on the streets and the gang war with his authority. The chef reluctantly agrees to return to the way of the gangster, and the colleagues from the restaurant bid the man a warm goodbye. Sang-ping, seeing that Taek-il's mother's eateries are sealed, immediately informs his friend about it. Taek-il, along with Kim-jun, arrives at the diner and learns with regret that this is a temporary building and will be demolished soon. The guy calls Jae-suk and asks for help, but the gangster replies that it's time for the courier to grow up and learn how to solve his problems on his own. Jae-suk goes alone to the leaders of the rival gangs and offers to resolve the issue peacefully. The gangsters refuse to agree on a good one, so Jae-suk has to beat all the nonsense out of them. The collectors go to Taek-il's mom to take the woman's money she borrowed from them to open a diner. Seeing that they came to the mother of a friend, Sang-pil tries to stop his colleagues, but of course no one listens to him. Collectors find an envelope from Taek-il's salary and are going to take at least it, despite the guy's persuasion to wait a little more until he earns money and pays off the entire debt for his mother. Collectors just smirk and brutally scatter the guys around and are about to leave with the money. In the end, Taek-il, with the help of Sang-pil and his mother, manages to relocate the collectors and get his money back. Having dealt with competitors, Jae-suk finally understands that the life of a thief is not for him, and decides to return to the culinary craft again, leaving Tae-sun in charge. Unfortunately, the diner is being demolished and Taek-il's mom's house is being confiscated for debt. Mother and son agree to temporarily stay at San-pil with their grandmother. They finally find mutual understanding and know for sure that together they will soon be able to return and increase the family fortune. Donghua decides to quit his job as a collector and starts a small smoked chicken delivery business. And Jae-suk happily returns to the position of chef at the Kong restaurant. Thanks for watching to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and watch our next video.